Hey folks, now what is that cautioning people about here at the Quentin Sammis, S-A-M-M-A-M-I-S, West Neck Beach? Well, I tell you what folks, let's have some fun at Lloyd Harbor's reputation and expense. Now, just before, there were two vehicles. Today is the 7th of May, 2019. And just before, there were two vehicles parked right here. Now, you see, I know that to the village of Lloyd Harbor, to the lawyers of Lloyd Harbor, to the judges of Lloyd Harbor, New York, Mr. Giblin and Mr. Michael Brown. Let's talk about some hypocrisies and prosecution by the village of Lloyd Harbor against Jeff Bartels, and then how I believe they didn't have the right to do anything. Now, this is the new house being built, and I was here last summer when a surveyor was here surveying this person's property. And I call it the Howard Johnsons, the future Howard Johnsons of Lloyd Harbor. Anyhow, it's a joke. So the thing is that, you see, the property, there's one of the property stakes. Well, no, that's one of the stakes. Is that a property stake, or is that a stake for the mesh or hay bale protection or whatever? Okay, so this is the thing. To the village of Lloyd Harbor, you see, and to the town of Huntington, this road is actually on this private person's property. And to Judge Giblin, Judge Michael Brown, to Mayor Gene Thatcher, to all the connected people, do you have in writing today, the 7th, or before today, the 7th? You see, this is one of, see that thing right there? That's a survey mark. So you see where the survey mark is, it's on the pavement, folks. So that means that this, not only the town of Huntington, but this access road to Lloyd Harbor Park is actually on the private property of that person up there. So to Judge Giblin, to Judge Michael Brown, to Gene Thatcher, the mayor, all the board members of Lloyd Harbor, and to Chief Krumpter of all, and Lloyd Harbor PD, excuse me, do you have written permission to park here? Did you have written permission in December of 2017 to mount a camera that was only surveilling the Quentin Sammis West Neck Beach here in Lloyd Harbor? The secret surveillance camera that Chief Krumpter and Gene Thatcher and the board hired or passed a resolution to install was only shining at the gates for the town of Huntington. Ah, here we go. Here's Panicky. How you doing? Do you know what that little orange spot is? No. That is a survey marker, because I talked to the surveyor last summer who was surveying this property. Does Lloyd Harbor have permission to keep, this is on private property. Does Lloyd Harbor or this contractor have permission?
All right, why don't you step out of the roadway so we don't get hit?
Okay, I don't want to get hit either. Pull away over there, Professor. This is Officer Panicky, one of my last professional hopes. Hi, everybody. So Officer Panicky, this is the problem. There's quite a quagmire here. You see, by survey, this is illegally parked on this person's private property. Okay. And I don't think that Chief Krumpter or Gene Thatcher has got permission to do it.
And what about your car being parked right there?
I don't think you have jurisdiction here, because this is a town of Huntington access road. This is not owned by Lloyd Harbor. But this isn't Lloyd Harbor's jurisdiction, this road, right here, right now. I am not illegally parked. And fine, you can give me a ticket, we can fight it in court, but the thing is that I'm here documenting, you know, like I got arrested for touching a camera that was right next to that steamroller that was only surveilling the entrance to West Neck, Quentin Sammis West Neck Beach. So in that camera incident, I wonder if Lloyd Harbor or Chief Krumpter had permission, because that property owner owns that tree that I got arrested for touching a camera on. So you see, I'm trying to document what's going on, what's hypocritical here. I'm going to move on my way, unpark, I'll go down there, but I'm going to be back. But really my question is that that's the survey marker, and these vehicles, what is the special connection and the special deals going on? I'm really getting sick of them, how I get prosecuted and harassed to the max. But if you're a connected contractor, you can break laws and park your vehicles dumping diesel oil or oil on private property here in Lloyd Harbor. Okay, take it easy. So there you go. I'm gonna hit the road, but there it is. There's Officer Penicky. He's been well learned. That is the survey mark, folks. That is the survey mark. And if you line up the survey mark, okay, line up the survey mark with it, and look at this. This is a spring, and God knows what's going into this spring or this marshland here in Lloyd Harbor, New York. Now let's go and I'll show you what Lloyd Harbor and Gene Thatcher is really good at repaving. Perfectly good roads in Lloyd Harbor, New York. So, are we still filming? Yes. It is still Tuesday, May 7th, 2019. So there's the house. You can see this equipment. You can see the damage it's doing. And there it says, no parking anytime. So why is a contractor allowed to park anywhere on Lloyd Harbor roads, private properties, illegally? And once again, you see, folks, that tree right there, 3.5 feet off the ground, was where the camera was set up December 25th, well before that, for weeks. That was hired by Lloyd Harbor. It was set up, and it was not looking at those gates of Lloyd Harbor. It was looking at the gates only of the town of Huntington, Quentin Sammis West Neck Beach. So to the Sammises out there, do you have any problem, Peter Sammis, head of security for town of Huntington? Do you have any problem, Mr. Sammis, or your family members, that a beach with your family's name on it, Sammis, was that the village of Lloyd Harbor and Chief Krumpter and Gene Thatcher and the board were surveilling any Huntington resident who's legally can come here, the town of Huntington Beach, okay, entrance, whatever, and yet Lloyd Harbor's, it was blocked by bushes, trees, and everything else. So there it is, and look at this. They littered, they left their cans, they left some garbage, and most of all, why is it that Gene Thatcher and the whole board, why are you repaving roads that don't need repaving? But to, I'm sorry, but it gives the appearance of corruption. Absolute corruption. So there he goes, Officer Penicky. And I wonder if they're gonna put tar or AC sealant and seal these edges. So there it is. Check this out, folks. No parking, and Penicky just now said, well, you're illegally parked. Officer Penicky, you're one of my, you and Silva, Officer Silver and Officer Pappas, are like my only hopes for being able to continue to live in Lloyd Harbor without having the shit harassed out of me every day. So I'm going to tell you this: Gene Thatcher, Mr. Birdo, Hillary Rowley, Mr. Lupinacci, and to Peter Sammis and the Sammis family, I'm coming after you people. I am coming after you with the tune of 1,000 videos by this time next year at BIRDDOG4U on YouTube. Now we'll be back for the handicap parking spaces that you cannot see here in West Neck, in Quentin Sammis, West Neck Beach. Once again, Mr. Peter Sammis, and to all the Sammis out there, are you really going to let Lupinacci and the council destroy your family's town, the Sammises? Really? Peter Sammis, I'm going to tell you this, Wheels, okay? You, that's his nickname, by the way. Wheels, Peter Wheels Sammis. So Wheels, you see, I'm pulling out all the stops, Wheels, Mr. Sammis. I am coming after the village of Lloyd Harbor. I'm coming after New York State. I'm coming after every politician on Long Island. You are the ones that created taxes 10 times over the national norm. So thank you, President Trump. It's brutal, but President Trump, I guess you would say it this way: it's called tough love. And I'm not very happy about it, Mr. Trump, President Trump, excuse me. But, you know, one of the best things you ever did yet, President Trump, is the Veterans Accountability Act. I haven't cried since, I'm not a veteran. My father was, my uncle, I know veterans. But I haven't cried really since 9/11. And when you passed that law, the Veterans Accountability Act, I got to tell you something, President Trump and everybody out there. I cried because it's glorious to get all those assholes, all that bureaucracy that has been denying our veterans who gave their lives, gave their souls, their families paid, and now they're getting screwed. They were getting screwed by the government. And shame on the United States of America. And so hopefully with what President Trump has done, there is going to be, hopefully it'll fix, and you'll get all those bureaucratic assholes out of there. So, to the village of Lloyd Harbor, to Chief Krumpter, and to ADA Bill Reynolds. Reynolds, you really fucked me over. And it cost me thousands of dollars with Darren Berger to represent me on touching. Remember, folks, I touched the camera because I thought it was illegal. I thought it was not identified. It did not say Lloyd Harbor Police on it. Didn't say DEC, DEA, anything. So I saw that it was only looking at the gates of Huntington. And so I turned it around and I slid it down the tree. I did not destroy it. That's the tree in question. And now, here it is, a year and months later, and you see, I'm here documenting, I'm here documenting what's going on, and there's the hypocrisy. A new no parking sign that does not apply to anybody else but Jeff Bartels, who maliciously, over and over again, with the blessing of Michael Brown, Judge Giblin, and all Lloyd Harbor Police, and especially Chief Krumpter. And yet, remember, everybody in an association in Lloyd Harbor, Gene Thatcher is taking, I'd say, a couple of $1 million from you in taxes, but she's not paying to repave your roads in associations like Fiddler's Green. She's not paying to repave Lloyd Neck Estates, Hawk Hill, or Seacrest. In fact, she's not snow plowing any of those roads. but they're collecting the taxes. They're collecting the revenue to only pay for the people who are connected and work for the village of Lloyd Harbor. And in Mrs. Dillner's case, and Eileen Schultz's case, who's now left, they're not only work for the village, but they're residents. And it's outrageous because of the collusion that they open us all up to. And there it is again, folks. Okay, I'm gonna pull over. There is the survey marker, folks. Okay, there it is. Whoops. There it is, folks. All right, there's the survey marker. Let me see if I can pull up over this. Oops. Okay, watch this. There it is, folks. There's the survey marker. Where is it? There it is. Is that it? No, that's a piece of dirt. There is this view. There it is. So there it is. There's the survey marker, which proves that this equipment is parked illegally, probably without permission, by that property owner, and it's also allowed to possibly pollute the marsh and the aquifer. So there it is, folks. To all the residents in Lloyd Harbor, keep it up, folks. Keep up the complaints to the police. Keep on paying Chief Krumpter buku bucks and any of the Lloyd Harbor police. It's absolutely insane. And most of all is that, what is anybody gonna do? And to George Gorman even, what are you gonna do about building a bridge going over to Lloyd Neck? I just found out that my property values in 3 months' time dropped $400,000 because I live on Lloyd Neck in Lloyd Harbor, New York, in Fiddler's Green Association. So to all the Fiddler's Green Association a-holes, you are a-holes. You want me to pay to be ostracized? You want me to pay to be harassed? You want me to pay for the destruction of the quality of life and the environment of which I've been trying to preserve for years? So I got a few words for Lloyd Harbor, Fiddler's Green. Gotta put it down. To all of you, you go fuck yourselves. You really want me to pay taxes that are 10 times over the national average, and I cannot. I repeat, thank you, President Trump, for putting a spotlight, a searchlight on the problem and what appears to be complete corruption in New York State. Thank you, President Trump. I believe Andrew Cuomo, your father, and all your Gambino construction contractors, connected Goombas, corrupt politicians, you name it, you have, I say this again, to any New York State voter, Long Island especially, vote out the incumbent. Whoever it is, vote him out. Vote him out. Vote him out. Especially Jean Thatcher and anybody having to do with her regime, Nazi regime. Here, oh, look at this guy, way over the double yellow line. Church, where are you? Church, where are you? There it is, Lloyd Lane, repaved. For what reason? For what reason? What was the matter with it? And you're not going to do anything about a bridge, huh? A bridge could go over right here. This is where the bridge would go over. So, in fact, let me finish the video right here. Okay. So, all right, here we go, folks. All right, folks, once again, it's the 7th of May, 2019. And here is asphalt left, dumped by Ameripave this past few days. Now, across the way there is, here's some history for you. That is the other wharf that the Lloyds built, I believe it was back in the 1700s. Folks, if you can imagine, that the rock, the granite, was quarried in Stamford, Connecticut. And then it was brought over by barge here. There goes Officer Penicky. It was brought over here by barge and paid for by the Lloyds. And one wharf is over there, and then at the end of Lloyd Lane is the other one. So that was the only way of getting goods and products, farm products, from Lloyd Neck to the mainland. And that's actually the seminary property. Now, what I'm going to explain is that my ideas out there is that, you see, there's state land that was put aside way back in the 50s or the 60s by Robert Moses when they were going to build a bridge or a tunnel over to Connecticut. Now, the property has all been paid for. It stretches from Cold Spring Harbor across Lloyd Harbor, mainland, across West Neck Road, and then it comes down adjacent to the seminary land. It's approximately right down there, okay? So this is the thing, folks. You see, I'm asking Governor Cuomo, all the politicians on Long Island, and to Gene Thatcher and the board. Evidently, I went to a hearing or seminar, or whatever it was, over in Oyster Bay, Friends of the Bay, and it was about the rising water levels. Now, that causeway is going to be underwater, and that probably has to do with why my property values dropped $400,000 in the last 3 months, according to Zillow. So, you see, I want to get federal funds to build a bridge like they have in Mill Neck. It could be a beautiful bridge. And this be, first off, to Bruce Smith of the Huntington Fire Department, you are not going to be able to build a firehouse out here before they build a bridge to Lloyd Neck to take care of the sinking causeway and the rising water levels due to global warming, climate change. So, nice try, Mr. Smith, but Bird Dog is going to get his bridge built before you get a fire department built out here on Lloyd Neck. And who's going to man it anyhow? A bunch of fucking rich, asshole, arrogant snobs that live out here on Lloyd Neck? I don't think so. So this is the thing. So it'll just cost us more money. So there it is, folks. I hope you listen to some of my ideas. I hope you don't listen to what people say about me. Take a chance and talk to me someday, or watch more of my videos. I'm full of the truth. That's all I know. You know what the easiest thing to remember is? The truth. So BIRDDOG4U, watchdog for you all, with another wonderful idea to raise the property values back up on Lloyd Neck and in Fiddler's Green, and also to give access to this beautiful, oh, look at this. This drain is almost completely clogged, and that drain goes underneath the street here, and that drain is right there. And I'll make you a bet. Oh, no, the drain is clear for a change. So anyhow, just think about it, George Gorman. A bridge coming right over here into the old original entrance that Marshall Fields used to use and all his guests. And yet now we have 2 accesses, and what that's going to do to our property values, what that's going to do to lowering our insurance rates, well, you can all keep ignoring the bird dog, okay? Or maybe you can start listening, and maybe you can even start doing some of the things that I'm suggesting, unless you just don't care. But all I know is that my home is my retirement fund. And all I know is Andrew Cuomo, Legislator Doc Spencer, Mr. Lupinacci, Gene Thatcher, the board of Lloyd Harbor, are you going to make up the $400,000 that my property has lost because I live out on Lloyd Neck and I'm being bitch slapped punished once again because I live out on beautiful Lloyd Neck. So besides the MTBE carcinogen oxygenator that is in my water well and many other water wells out here on Lloyd Neck, which was covered up by many people, besides the contaminated MTBE in your drinking water and now the sinking causeway or rising water levels, there are answers. And the answers, some of them, the land is already paid for. And Johnny Keene, you, Johnny spoiled silver spoon in your fucking mouth forever, Johnny Keene. You, Johnny Keene, are not going to be able to develop that state land set aside for bridges or whatever. So believe me, Mr. Johnny Spoiled Keene, who I went to high school with, you are an asshole. You've always been an asshole, and that's all I know. So Johnny, understand the word no. My father explained it to me when I was 5 years old, learning my alphabet. This is a great story. He said, hey Jeff, when you're learning your alphabet, pay special attention to the way the letter N is right next to the letter O. And he would say, what does that spell? And I would say it spells no. And my father would say, that's right, sport, or tiger, whatever he called me. He goes, you better get used to that word no, because you're gonna have a lot of no in your life, and you better know how to deal with the word no. So now here's the funny part. The other word that you learn is H-I-J-K-L-N-N-O-P, right? So I would typically go up to my father and go, hi, Dad. And my father would go, whatever it is, Jeff, no. And I would be like, but Dad. He's like, no, Jeff, no. So to all the politicians, to all the connected gangsters, contractors, overpaid school administrators, overpaid police, overpaid everything, okay? Everybody move off of Long Island and leave all of the connected assholes that are getting paid way too much money for what they do, and let them pay the ridiculous taxes of New York State and Long Island and Lloyd Harbor and Fiddler's Green. Okay? County, it's just the beginning. It's really just the beginning. Okay, well, I gotta go. I don't do kids, so we don't film kids, never have filmed kids. Number 5's kids are out there. I'm not gonna film. But yet, number 5, you tell me to go die. That's just not right. That's just not right. So, you see, now, I'm not gonna film this, but my neighbor, hey, oh shit. Hey, Tom, when you get a chance, I gotta talk to you about a dead tree on my property, threatening your property. Okay, there it is. Tom's not gonna talk to me. That's Tom Redder, lovely neighbor, lovely neighbor. So anyhow, I found that I've got a dead tree that's leaning towards his property, and I definitely don't want it to fall on his property. And so I'm gonna pay to have it taken down because it's too tall for me to take down. So anyhow, folks, this place is insane, and really, you don't have a problem with Gene Thatcher and everybody in this association alone, that they're taking all your tax dollars, they're not paying to repave your roads. This broad path, it was 40 years between when it was from when it was repaved. Well, the last time it was repaved, what, in 2012, 2013? it had not been repaved for over 40 years before that. How do I know? Because I've lived in this house for 52 years, going on 53. So, you can say what you want, but I know the truths. And once again, really folks, you want to live in an association in the village of Lloyd Harbor so you can not only pay the highest taxes in the world, but that the village doesn't do anything for you but sick police on you and be derelict in their duties and hypocrites and malicious prosecution for some, none for others, and you want to pay the highest taxes in the world, and nobody's going to plow your association streets, and they're certainly not going to be paying to repave them. So if you want to move to this type of place, then come to Lloyd Harbor. You know why there's 2 L's in Lloyd Harbor? Because there's so many large losers and large liars. Do you want to raise your children around this type of atmosphere? Do you think that they're going to survive against the bullies that have taught them, being their parents? Do you think your kids could survive moving here from any place else? And you think they're going to survive being bullied by the parents and the children of the village of Lloyd Harbor, Fiddler's Green Association, or in Huntington, period? Folks out there, before you move here to Lloyd Harbor, check out the suicide rate, not only of adults, but mainly of teenagers and young people. It's really disgusting. And yet, look at what Mike Miranda and the Dillners and Gene Thatcher and Krumpter and many others have done to Jeff Bartels. So I'm stronger than all of you. I am completely stronger than all of you put together. And I'm going to take you down with social media and my videos. I'm going to take you down, and to Gene Thatcher and everybody in Lloyd Harbor, and especially Fiddler's Green Association assholes, I'm going to have this village unincorporated, I hope, by 2020, at the very least by 2021. You watch and see how I do it. Krumpter, Thatcher, BIRDDOG, Hillary Rowley, Dr. Leland Dean, Mrs. Dillner, Mr. Dillner, Brian Dillner, Pete Murphy, Sean O'Donnell, and even Judge Steve Hackling. Watch how I do it, assholes. Watch how I do it. You destroyed my Fiddler's Green, which is an angler's heaven. You destroyed my Lloyd Harbor. You've set it against me, and you've used it to prosecute me. You've used my own tax dollars to fucking prosecute the crap out of me, Gene Thatcher, just like you did Barbara Kerwin, the Rooster Woman, $5,000 worth of fines, and yet it was okay for Chief Krumpter and Morrissey and Cortez and all the other asshole police were taken from protecting you in other parts of Lloyd Harbor. For 21 days, they were sitting outside of Barbara Kerwin's residence in Seacrest, which is right next to a bird sanctuary, for God's sakes, where there's all sorts of birds making all sorts of noises, all sorts of hours, day and night. And yet, for 21 days, check it out, folks. I'm sure that all of this is going to come out. I'm sure of it. And you people watch how Gene Thatcher used Chief Krumpter, the guy who's making more money than the governor of this state, to maliciously prosecute Barbara Kerwin. And look at look at what an incredible woman she is. Why is she being harassed and prosecuted like this? And once again, Bill Reynolds, ADA, Bill Reynolds. Mr. Bill Reynolds, may I say this because it's the United States of America still? Bill Reynolds, ADA, for D.A. Cini. Bill Reynolds, are you a fucking pussy? Are you a pussy, man? Are you letting Gene Thatcher control you like a pussy puppet, Mr. Bill Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and all of yous, Chuck Flynn, all of yous. I'm releasing some videos about images that I would draw if I was a cartoonist. And it involves Jean Thatcher being dressed up in S&M leather studded garb with like one of those motorcycle hats on. And she's got on these big high, you know, thigh high fucking leather boots, spiked and everything else. And she's sitting there and she's got her big black whip, okay? And in the cartoon or the video would be Chief Chuck Flynn, Chief Krumpter, Mr. BIRDDOG, Mr. Hillary Rowley, Dr. Leland Dean, Pete Murphy, Sean O'Donnell. I guess that's enough. Oh, and all the Lloyd Harbor police officers like Morrissey and Baffa and well, Baffa's gone. You should all ask what happened to Officer Baffa. But anyhow, this would be the cartoon. All of the police officers and Krumpter and Flynn, they're all bent over with their fucking pants pulled down, and there's Jean Thatcher, and she's got this massive strap-on, big black strap-on dildo, okay? And there she is in the cartoon. It's going to be, well, or the video, or the little video movie would be Jean Thatcher going from one asshole, literally, to another, fucking the hell out of them in their butts. And it maybe would probably include you, Mr. Lupinacci. And it'd be like, who's your boss? Who's your boss? Who's your boss? Who's your boss? And it'd be like, I'm Jean Thatcher. I'm the mayor. And I'm the boss. And I'm gonna butt fuck everybody. And I'm gonna butt fuck every resident out of your tax dollars, not plow your roads, not pave your roads, and sick my little Nazi police on you. I'm Jean Thatcher, and I'm a vicious bitch. I'm a vindictive bitch, and I'm the boss of Lloyd Harbor. And I'm gonna just fuck the hell out of all of you. And so that's gonna be it. That's my cartoon, and especially Chuck Flynn, bent over, and Krumpter, getting it in the ass with a big strap on. Well, that's the video that I want to make. That's the cartoon that I want to pay somebody to draw for me, and then put that in the New York Post, assholes. So it's been the 7th of May, 2019. I'd say it's a wrap. I thank God, whoever she, here it is. And to you, Mrs. Thatcher, and all you that have been involved with destroying my Fiddler's Green, my Lloyd Harbor, the malicious prosecution of me, the slander of my family's name, the Bartells. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you legally. Legally. And my social media videos. I'm going to put you all out of fucking business, and you are going to have to move away like Mrs. Dillner. You and your husband and your son and Pete Murphy, you're going to be the ones moving away and crawling under a rock someplace and hiding, okay? You fucked up my life, and you hired Mike Miranda, super scumbag lawyer of all times from Mineola. So a special message to Mike Miranda and to Mr. Dillner, Mrs. Dillner, Brian Dillner, Jean Thatcher, all yous. May 29th.